Hey guys, so tomorrow we're doing a snatch complex or a few different reps with the snatch. In between each, we're gonna do some accessory work like we've done in the past, some new stuff, some repetitive stuff. I'm gonna demonstrate a few. Let us know if you guys have any questions in comments or tomorrow when you come in. So tomorrow for mobility or flexibility, if you're someone that struggles maybe with range of motion or just control through range of motion, we'll give you a few different options. First one here is a lax ball in the hip flexor or in the glute. So if you're someone maybe at the bottom of a squat, you feel a little pinch in the front of your hip, maybe in your glute, maybe sometimes it goes down into your knee, this would be a good substitution or a good way to kind of loosen things up. The next one is a lax ball in the pec or the lat. It's really gonna depend on where you're tight. If it's overhead, it's most likely gonna be your lat. If it's opening up your shoulders this way, it's more likely gonna be your pec. It's gonna be up to you, whichever one you wanna do on those. Then the last one will be a T-spine opener. That's just really for overhead mobility, which will then play a role in the snatches. What we're looking to do is spend about 30 seconds on each side or 1 total minute, okay? And that'll apply for the T-spine opener, 30 seconds to a minute, 30 seconds per side on the lax ball. And I'll demonstrate those real quick on the floor. So with the lax ball, if I wanna do my hip flexor, I'm gonna try and put it right on the side of my pelvis, all right, right in here, and lean into that thing as much as possible, all right? And bring my knee up, straighten it out, whatever I wanna do. That's gonna kind of be the hip flexor point, and the glute, trying to find that socket, that big hole that we have here. Rotate, hold there, same thing, move around. So I want to get that hip to loosen up a little bit. So this is if you're tight in the front of the hip, lateral, or maybe sometimes down into your knee. For the lat position, similar to the hip, we're just trying to find that shoulder blade now. Put it right next to it or on the side and really put as much pressure as we can. Move the arm around, whatever you'd like to do there. Putting pressure, loosen that up a little. And if the pec is tight, we're trying to find somewhere right around here as it goes into that arm, onto our chest. There, we can lift our hand up, bring it to our low back, move it around as well, but just putting much pressures on the chest as we can, all right? And then for the T-spine opener, using the bench right here, what we're trying to do is just open up this range of motion and feel it in our lat, all right? So putting the elbows on the bench, dropping your head through, best as you can. That's really tough for you. You can just put your elbows on, straighten the arms out, and then drop your body through. Again, we're trying to increase this range of motion right in there, okay? So that'll be if you really struggle with mobility or flexibility. The other category is accessory. Maybe you're a pretty mobile person, but you notice that you're not very strong in a position, or sometimes a coach will come ask you like, hey, do you feel this movement in your hamstrings or in your shoulder? You're like, no, not really, because you're very mobile. These will be some good exercises to make sure you're in the right position and feeling it in the right spot. First one is a Cuban press. I'll demonstrate that in a second for controlling overheads. Bent over row, if you notice you kind of have a rounded shoulder position, teaching you to pinch your shoulders back. And then the starfish plank, that's a really good one for anyone. Get your hips really getting fired and also engage your midline a little bit. So the Cuban press, I'll demonstrate right here in a sec. We're looking for about 6 to 8 reps on the Cuban press or bent over row on each side. And then the starfish plank, anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, somewhere in that. It's pretty tough movements. For the Cuban press, we'll put it right here. We're doing 2 dumbbells, make sure it's light to start. Keep your shoulders back. We're gonna kind of do an upright row, then keeping the elbows in place, rotate the the knuckles up to the ceiling, and then press overheads. Back, internally rotate to that position again, and down. Don't just rush through it, control it step by step, and that's gonna help get the shoulders a little bit stronger in those positions, all right? So that'll be the Cuban press. Next one will be the bent over row, which I'll use here on the bench. One arm's gonna be straight, that knee's gonna be on, other leg is flat on the floor. Don't let your back round. Keep your shoulder back and in place. Squeeze your belly nice and tight. Pull right up to that chest, and then back down towards the floor, right? Go with a light enough weight that allows you to get all the way up. Don't just cut the range of motion short on those, okay? And the last one is starfish plank. Again, this one can be really tough. Get your glutes to fire. 2 options, you can go from your forearm, can be a little bit easier. If you wanna make it a little harder, go from that hands, other arm up in the air, then the tricky part, lift those feet apart, get that glute to fire. Don't move forward or back. Find a good balance point, just like I am right there, and hold for about like 15 to 30 seconds or so. So again, the right category for accessory, maybe you're really mobile, you need to develop more strength, or the left side. If you really just struggle with tightness and maybe in your hips or your shoulders, it'll help loosen you up, keep you moving for those snatches. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. We'll see you tomorrow.